Everybody online is excited about interest rate cuts. But here's the truth almost nobody says. Rate cuts are not a celebration. They are a warning. Rate cuts doesn't happen when things are great. They happen when something is breaking underneath the economy. And right now, markets are basically screaming that the first cut is coming soon. Polymarket, the platform traders use, is showing around 85% probability that the Fed cuts within the next couple of meetings. But listen carefully. This is not a good news. This is pressure, this is stress, and this is a sign that your future is about to change. Most people think interest rate cuts are just about the stock market. No, cuts affect everything. Your rent, your job, your debt, your income, your goals, your mindset, discipline, and your entire financial life. So today I'm breaking this down in the simplest way possible, what's happening right now, when cuts are likely coming, what the economy is showing, and the rumors around Jerome Powell, how it affects Bitcoin and risk assets, and how to not get manipulated in the next 24 months. Let's start with what's actually happening right now. And let me keep it simple. The economy looks fine on the surface, but underneath, it's not. Inflation came down, but not enough. Service inflation is still high, shelter inflation is still high, food is still expensive, rent is at an all-time high, unemployment is creeping up, but not a lot, but enough to make the Fed nervous. People are drowning. Record credit card balances, record delinquencies, auto loans that make no sense anymore, savings almost gone. Meanwhile, the stock market is an all-time high. And that's not because the economy is strong, it's because everyone expects rate cuts. The Fed doesn't cut rates because everything is amazing. They cut when something is cracking. And prediction markets know this. Polymarket right now is pricing 85% chance that there's gonna be at least one cut this year. And the market expects 2 or 3 cuts in the next months. That's not confidence, that's fear. That's the system saying, do something before this spreads. And now let me talk about Powell. I'm not saying this will happen, but there are rumors that Powell is under political pressure. Just think about it. Some politicians want him to cut fast, some think he waited too long, some blame him for inflation, some blame him for slowdown, and with elections coming, everyone wants someone to blame. And the fact that people are even talking about Powell getting replaced shows you one thing. There is tension behind the scenes. And let me also talk about Bitcoin, because this part matters. Every time the Fed cuts the interest rates, money gets easier. And when money gets easier, risk assets pump. Tech stocks pump, beta stocks pump, crypto pumps. And we are already seeing more Bitcoin reserves accumulation. Because smart money is preparing before the pivot, not after. So let's talk about what rate cuts really do. People think rate cuts make life easier. They don't. Here's what actually happens. 1, asset prices go up, stocks, crypto, real estate, they inflate from cheap money. 2, debt becomes attractive. People start financing everything. 3, inflation comes back later because cheap money brings higher prices. 4, the wealth gap gets bigger because disciplined people invest and emotional people spend, and they end up with no money. Now let's talk about you, how this affects your wealth. When cut hits, the wealthy get richer, not because they're smarter, but because they are positioned before the cuts. We are already seeing the stock market at an all-time high and Bitcoin relief rally. But most people react too late. They wait, they hesitate, they buy when everything is already expensive. And the cut is not the beginning of the opportunity, The cut is confirmation that the move already started. And let's also talk about discipline, because if you don't have any systems, rate cuts are dangerous for your discipline. When money feels cheaper, people relaxes. I can buy it now, I'll pay later, I'll deserve this. Cheap money makes you emotional. Cheap money makes you impulsive. Cheap money makes you comfortable. So what about your mindset? Weak mindset says, I can spend more money now. Strong mindset says, cheap money is for buying assets. This is my chance to build wealth. This is the moment to get ahead. So, what about your financial future? And I want you to really listen here. Your future, the next 5 years, depends on one question. During rate cuts, do you act like a consumer or an investor? Because consumers get trapped by cheap credit. Investors build wealth with cheap capital. So this cycle, end of 2025 to 2026, will create more millionaires and also more broke people than the last 4 years combined. So how to not get liquidated? When the first cut hits, the system will try to trick you. You'll see ads everywhere, car payments are cheaper, finance now, take a loan, refinance everything, life is good again. And that's a trap. Because cheap money is a tool. It's not a lifestyle. So let me give you a simple game plan. 1, keep cash ready because liquidity is opportunity. 2, pick the best assets you want to buy, not 10. Do your own research, choose wisely, focus only on those. 3, start positioning before the cut, because when the cut happens, you are already late. 4, do not increase lifestyle debt. 0 emotional spending. And 5, track your net worth weekly. What you measure, you control. And when cuts start, the internet will lose its mind. You'll see greed, fear, crypto, stocks flying, crash predictions, moon predictions. And your job is simple. Stay calm, stay focused, stick to your plan. Markets reward discipline and not emotion. So let me give you the big picture. Every time the Fed cuts, there's 2 types of people. People who think life is easier now and they overspend, and people who build systems and know this is their moment and they accumulate assets. One group gets crashed, the other group gets ahead by years. And this pivot happening right now is the separation point. Rate cuts won't make you rich. Being prepared will, being disciplined will, and positioning early will make you rich, and not getting manipulated. End of 2025, 2026 will decide who wins and who collapses. So make sure you are on the right side of this cycle. Let me know in the comments what assets are you buying and what's your best game plan to win. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.